Recently, I was watching a commercial for the new Deadpool movie, and on the recommended bar, I seen this video come up. It's Ryan Reynolds answers 10 questions about Canada. So I really like Ryan Reynolds. He's a really cool guy. I love his movies. I like what he's doing outside of movies with his investment in football in Wales with the football team Wrexham. A really cool, interesting project. But I want to see him answer questions about Canada, see what he knows. Yeah, tell me what you think about this one.
Here we go. 10 questions about Canada. Okay?
Shoot.
That you can answer however
ready.
you want. First of all, favorite spot in Vancouver.
Favorite spot in Vancouver, probably Minerva's. It's a Greek restaurant in Kerrisdale. That's probably my favorite restaurant, favorite spot. It's sort of like, it's like my version of Cheers. You know, you walk in where everybody knows your name. It's nice.
So is he from Vancouver? I don't actually know where he's from. That must be pretty cool. Again, have you been to the place he's visited? Have you ever seen him? That must be quite interesting.
Second question, Canucks, Whitecaps, or Lions?
Ooh, that's tough. I'm gonna go with the BC Nuck Lions Caps.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna go with the Whitecaps. You know, lately I've been obsessed with football.
As a football
I sort of
fan?
see it now. I almost wish I didn't know what I know about football because I'm calling it
And by
football.
football, you mean soccer.
Soccer, yeah.
Soccer.
I have a club in Wrexham, and if it's been ingrained in my head. If I call it soccer, there'll be a messy stabbing death fun. Yeah, I'm making sure I call it football. But yeah, Whitecaps, yeah.
Please.
Yeah, tell me what people in Canada, do you know about that? I guess you probably do. But maybe a lot of people in Canada might be such huge fans of football, soccer, so maybe don't know too much. But it's really like cool what he's doing. He's really like reinvigorated that club and made it, I mean, very mainstream known, but it's like for their fans, I think it must be such a cool thing. They're getting so much success. But what about football in Canada? Obviously, I watched a video about the CFL, but what about soccer? How popular is that there? Is it more popular than American football, or what you would call football? Teams like Vancouver Whitecaps, who do you support? What are the matches, the atmospheres like?
Place you've never been in Canada that you'd like to go. Place you've never been in Canada that you'd like to go.
I think Nova Scotia.
You've never been to Nova
I've
Scotia?
never been to Nova Scotia.
Man.
No. I've stopped there once briefly, but I didn't get to properly look around, so I really would love to see,
it is beautiful.
see Nova Scotia.
Place you've been to Canada that you never wanted. No, I'm not going to ask you that. Place in Canada that you've been to that you'd like to go back to.
Oh boy. I was up near the Great Bear Rainforest, which is one of the most amazing biodiversity land that you will ever see in your life. I occasionally work with a group called Pacific Wild and a guy named Ian McAllister who runs Pacific Wild, and I just love everything they do up there. So my hope is to go up there and get a distant look at a spirit bear
Nice.
at some point. Yeah.
Word association. I'm going to mention some Canadian things and just tell me what comes to mind. Song.
Song. Gosh.
That's a cool video as well, so I'll need to check that out. Tell me more about that. Who's the artist that was singing that? That's something I might start getting into, is Canadian music. So recommend some Canadian music stars. Of course, I know a lot of the big ones, but who's your favourite? Doesn't need to be recent, can be any decade, any genre.
Canadian TV show.
You can't do that on television. That's not
Oh yeah,
that's,
right. Okay,
that's not a
you know,
statement.
I
That's
was
a TV
just
show.
I was just thinking you were going to. For some reason, I thought you were going to say
The
Little
National.
Showboat. The National. That's right. Exactly.
Anything with Lauren Green in it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Food.
Food. Ooh.
Canadian food.
Well, obviously the poutine is the obvious way to go.
That's
But
what I
like
thought, yes.
for me, Canadian food. I grew up in Kitsilano, Vancouver. So Greektown souvlaki is like the best souvlaki on earth. It's
Nice.
just yeah.
Interesting.
Weird question, but Canadian provincial capital.
Which
Which
Canadian
one comes? Which
provincial?
comes to mind when I say that to you?
Oh boy. I mean, you know, I struggle to find a place more beautiful than Victoria. I mean, that is a stunning capital city in every way, shape, and form. So
Shoot Deadpool 3 in Victoria. That would be
we
fantastic.
shot some of Deadpool 2 in Victoria.
Really?
Yes, we did. The Xavier's castle is set there, so that's where we shot it. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me in your opinion, what's your favourite, or what capital would come to mind first for you, and why? I feel like that's a very interesting choice, Victoria. From what I've learned about it, it does seem like a really nice, I guess you could say, little place if you compare it to Vancouver. But yeah, tell me more about Victoria. I know it's kind of like an option for people who don't want to spend so much on rent and mortgages in Vancouver. They maybe go to Victoria. It can be a slightly cheaper, I think, but it seems like a very beautiful place, and obviously near all that nature and things as well.
Wow. What is the biggest misconception when you talk to American friends about Canada?
The biggest misconception, I think that some people feel, and it's one of the things that, look, I make no secret about how much I love Canada, but that doesn't mean that I feel like Canada's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love Canada despite its incredible imperfections, and there are many. But I think some people have
Like
a notion that Canada is some kind of utopian society that's getting it all right, and I think that we also have our same, you know, many of the same socio-political issues that happen south of the border and elsewhere in the world, and many of the same struggles, many of the same blind spots and blights on our history as well. And so, you know, I'm always here to be the ice-cold bucket of water for those friends and remind them that, you know, we're just like you.
Perfect score. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was interesting. So yeah, pretty interesting point that he raised about Canada and having imperfections. But I feel like even then, I think that's the same for every country. I'm from the UK, obviously. We probably have like maybe similar history to Canada in a way, but probably worse because we have all taking over countries and not doing nice things. But if you compare Canada to every other country, it's still one of the best countries in like pretty much every aspect. So that's interesting. What do you think the imperfections are about Canada that he was talking about? You mentioned politically as well, so I don't know what specifically it was he was meaning, but tell me in your opinion. But that's pretty cool. A better insight into Ryan Reynolds and his relationship with Canada. He obviously loves the country, and rightfully so. So tell me what you think about that, and tell me what you think about Ryan Reynolds. Thanks.